Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to talk about mlflow and how we can use it to log scikit-learn models. So in the previous video, we talked about artifacts. A model is in essence an artifact because we have to store the wave of our model or the parameters of our model in a kind of file, right? So a model is basically an artifact that we can log using mlflow. Let's take a look at the code. Let me share my screen. So here we are. This is basically, a basic model creation example. It's really basic. Just remember that you have to install scikit-learn to use these modules. Here I am using from scikit-learn.model selection train test split to create, to split the data into training and testing sets. We have scikit-learn data sets. Basically, this is to create fake data. And scikit-learn.tree. This is a tree classifier. This is just a model that I want to explore to show you how we can log this model using mlflow. So the first part is obvious, the feature engineering part, the EDA that I'm going to, let's say, fake or make it up. So let's say that this is the of the final stage in our feature engineering process, and we get features and labels, right? And the next step would be to split the data into training and testing data set, right? Now I'm going to create a model with scikit-learn. I'm going to train the model using scikit-learn, and this is a model, right? This is a model. I already trained this model. Let's log the model using mlflow, and this is the syntax. We use mlflow.scikit-learn.log model, and we pass the model, the object, the scikit-learn object, and the path. Or this is the artifact path. Basically, this is going to be the name of the folder in which mlflow is going to store metadata about this model, including the model itself. Let's run this code to see what happens. Let's do Python and mlflow tracking. Okay. I don't know what is the mod. Okay, this is the mod artifacts. Okay, this is not the one. And this is the bad thing about. Okay, okay, this maybe no, this is not. Okay, the last one. Here, artifacts. Under artifacts, mlflow is creating this folder, scikit-learn model, scikit-learn model, and I have several files. I have a conda.yaml file. Basically, this is data about the environment. So I can reproduce this environment in, let's say, other computer. I have more metadata about the model. We have the run ID, model UUID, mlflow version, more data about the environment, so on. We have the pickle file. I cannot read this pickle file. Basically, this is my model, and this is Python and YAML. This is as more data about environments, dependencies, and versions. So I can reproduce this experiment using mlflow. And finally, requirements, basically the libraries that I used to create this model. Let's take a look at the interface, the user interface, mlflow UI. Mm, mm, let's refresh this. Okay, and here we are. In the last run, we have a model, a circular model, and as we can notice, there are not metrics or parameters because I am not logging any metric or parameter in this code, just the model. So let's go into this run, and here we are, artifacts under my folder called artifacts, I have my, the files that I showed you before. We have information about the environment, the model, the pickle file. So using this information, we can reproduce run this experiment. And here, for example, we have, um, examples. For example, here we can use this code. Um, um, we can use this code to make predictions. Here we are using mlflow to load the model. This is the uh, model ID. As we can see here, this is the same ID that we can have here. We can make predictions using mlflow. This part is using Spark, PySpark, basically. Maybe later on I can make videos about PySpark and Databricks, but for now let's stick with this part. In this part, we are using a normal pandas data frame to create to make predictions. So in the next video, we are going to talk about the inputs of the model. So for example, in this case, we don't have any information about the inputs that this model is receiving, right? Because so let's say that someone else wants to use this model. uh, there is no way to look um, at a glance what kind of inputs this model is using or this model requires. So um, the next video is going to be about the inputs, the signature that we can use to say mlflow, or to tell mlflow that the input data has this format. So we can store that information um, alongside with um, our model. So thank you for listening to me and for attending this video. See you.